So like Paul mentioned, we're going to talk about 75 James Street condominiums right in the heart of Hamilton. And they're basically next door to a McMaster campus, which is also good. They're right next to the future LRT. They're close to the GO. They're as centrally located in Hamilton as you can be. And I really like this project because it checks all the boxes. It's near higher education, so that's great potential renters. It's near a lot of the high-paying jobs in Hamilton, which means we have another avenue of potential renters, okay, for those of us that are investors. It is on current and future transit lines, which is fantastic, okay? And I know there's been a lot of talk about uncertainty and our project's gonna get completed. Well, this one has the excavation already completed. So they are guns blazing. I was there last week. I met with the people responsible for future development at the city of Hamilton, and we were talking about it, and they're very, very happy about this project. It is guns blazing. Shovels are literally deep in the ground as it's fully excavated, and it's 100% a go. It's quite a large project, so this one being already excavated will be ready in about 4 years. So Ashley, if you want to start. Okay, so like we said, 75 James, it just launched. As we can see, this is a hero rendering of the building. It is a cascading step-like structure with over 600 units, and the developer is Fengate. So 75 James is an urban lifestyle condo featuring multi-tiered, incredible amenities, versatile live-work opportunities at the base, and it's a 24/7 lifestyle like no other. It steps away from gorgeous nature, a vibrant downtown scene with handy access to shops, dining, culture, top schools, excellent transit to get you where you want to go. So it's a beautiful combination. And being in Hamilton, it's not the same hustle and bustle and pace as in a Toronto, say, but Hamilton's booming. There's billions of dollars being poured into investment. It's almost like it's its renaissance, a long time in the making. And the amount of infrastructure that's being built up means that it's going to be booming. And there's over $1 billion in development applications at the city of Hamilton. So that should tell you what's about to happen there. Real estate growth. Hamilton's nearly doubled its rate of growth over the last 5 years. Hamilton has been booming pre-COVID and was booming during COVID. Now, a little known fact about Hamilton is that their rents were one of the few parts of Southern Ontario that did not drop during the pandemic. They actually were on the rise. And a little known fact is currently there's very little new condos in Hamilton. And a couple new buildings that do exist, they're getting over $3,000 a month for a 2-bedroom unit. But the prices at James are under $1,000 a square foot in comparison to downtown Toronto, which has similar rental rates, but the prices to buy pre-construction in Toronto are $1,450, $1,500, even $1,700, $1,800 a square foot. So you're paying less than 2/3 the purchase price, and you're getting similar rents. So at the end of June 22, City of Hamilton reported building permit valuations of approximately over $1 billion, despite the impact of COVID-19 and the world at large. The value of 2021's building permits broke all previous records. It's the second highest annual rent growth of municipalities in Canada the past year at 26%. Okay, rent increased just under 16% year over year for one bed, 15% for a 2-bed as of August 2022. And the average condo apartment sale price was approximately $600,000. That's also an increase of 15%. So as we can see, not just by what I'm saying, but by the numbers that back it up, Hamilton is booming. So the location of the building is right in the heart of Hamilton on James Street South, okay? Occupancy, we're saying 2026, so 4 years from now, and that's only because we're fully excavated already. Multi-tier tower with 34, 20, 15, and 10 floors on the Cascade. Over 600 residential units that start from studios and go up to 3 plus dens. We have 5 elevators to accommodate all the people moving up and down. And we have over 330 parking spots. Now, this is a great map because this shows the future LRT in orange, and it shows also the GO line. So if we see where we're located right on James, we're in between the GO and the LRT, walking distance to both. So this is fantastic because we're a 3-minute walk to the LRT, a 4-minute walk to the GO station, a 5-minute walk to McMaster Downtown University campus, 11-minute bus to Mohawk, and we're only an hour drive from Toronto. And I've done that drive quite a bit this past month, getting ready for this, and it is an hour drive. It's really not that bad. So we're going to see, as people have started to move to the submarkets and they're going to be on the cusp of the boom in Hamilton, you're going to see a lot of people choosing Hamilton, and I know some personally, over living in Toronto for a more relaxed, peaceful way of life.
I think for some people in the GTA, go back to that for a second, if you're trying to equate what this location, like think like Yonge and Queen. Like you can't make a turn without hitting public transportation and amenities around you. And I think in Hamilton, especially James Street, it's got everything around it, and it's ideal for this kind of Toronto style big condo. Keep going, Cos.
And that's exactly what it is, right? When you think condos, you really naturally gravitate to thinking about them being surrounded by everything you need, everything being within walking distance. And transit is a major factor. There's also schools, employment, and shops, dining, entertainment. And this address has everything within walking distance. So it's really proper condo living. And we really recognize and appreciate that after it's built, and when you start looking for tenants, it'll be much easier to get tenants to pay top dollar for that ease of life, quality of life, and you will achieve that here at James. Next slide, Ashley. So there's a $3.4 billion future LRT development. Like, this is happening. They've started to expropriate land. Everything's following a schedule. The city of Hamilton is right on board with this, and everything is taking the final steps to start construction. And being an LRT, an above ground transit system, this isn't going to take a decade plus like we see with the headaches of subways in Toronto. This should be up and running very close to the occupancy date. And when we want to see how close James is, it's like we said, a few minutes to the GO, a few minutes to the LRT, okay? You're under an hour drive from major highways, basically that cross the continent. 20-minute drive to the Hamilton Airport, which is an international airport. And this last year, when we saw chaos at Pearson, a lot of people were opting to fly out of there. Okay, a couple of my friends did, whether it was domestically or internationally. They fly to a lot of sun destinations, and they fly all over Canada. And it's about a 15-minute drive to the port of Hamilton, which is undergoing a massive revitalization and refurbishing, which will really be a destination point. So you're close to the water, but yet you're right in the city. And that's kind of the beauty of Hamilton. And like Paul said, if you think Yonge and Queen, that's also close to the water, but it's right in the heart of the city. That's what 75 James is in Hamilton. It has a 97 walk score. You can't get better than that, and an 86 transit score. And as soon as they put the LRT into there, it's going to be up in the 90s, the transit score. So it's really a top shelf location for functionality.
If you want to know more about the waterfront renovation, just look up Google Hamilton West Harbor, okay? And that'll tell you what they're doing with the parks and the residential and how they're going to appropriate land. It's a good bit of research if you want to know.
It is a good bit of research. And the Hamilton Board of Trade is actually located there. And that's where we were last week, meeting with the people responsible for approving developments. And they gave us a tour and showed us whatever. It's really the renaissance for Hamilton. And it's a long time coming. And it's always good when investing to be on the forefront of something and not be on the end. And that's really what buying in Hamilton this next little while is. It's that last opportunity to get in first. Now, what is a condo project without great amenities? And remember, what I always like to say is when you live in a condo or buy to invest in a condo, the people that rent from you, they buy into a lifestyle. They rent into a lifestyle. And these condo buildings, these new mega buildings, they have everything located internally, and you don't really need to go anywhere else. So you're going to see a state-of-the-art gym where people can cancel their gym memberships and put a little bit more towards the rent. You're going to see tech lounges where people can work, okay? Gaming lounges, theaters, kid zones where kids can play. Because I was in 2017, I was in the Toronto Star, and I was speaking on how in the next decade, we're going to see a lot of families moving into condos. We were spoiled here because of the amount of land we used to have in Southern Ontario and Canada in general, that everybody equated raising a family with a house and a yard. And now as prices have gone up, and because of lack of supply, prices are not going to come down substantially. That's a myth. I was talking to, I was on a Zoom with Benjamin Cowell last week, and he basically said they're not going to come down, right? That we've pretty much hit the bottom. But families are going to start moving into condos because they're going to choose location and quality of life over long commutes, okay? And now we have kid zones and kids rooms where kids can play in these condos. We're going to have event lounges in here with private dining area, a place for food prep, and a bar, and great yoga fitness studios. There's also outdoor space here, which will be elevated on the tops of the cascading parts of the building. So it's really a well thought out mini community. And that's really what's going to get you that little bit more per rent every month, and will be directly equated to more profit than a competing building in the future. The suites. We have 9-foot smooth ceilings throughout the whole building. A couple floors do have larger ceilings, but nothing shorter than 9. Custom designed Trevisana kitchens that are designed in Italy. Quartz countertops with Kohler chrome faucets, okay? Undermount lighting in the kitchen. Euro-style laminate flooring, individually controlled fan coils, which means each unit has control of their heating and their cooling. You don't have to wait for the whole building to turn it on. And stainless steel kitchen appliances. So as you can see, this is a typical unit, no upgrades, and this is what you're getting, wide plank laminate. It's really, really looking high-end and nice, and this is what it'll set it above other projects. And again, the price point that we're seeing right now is really a benefit of the downturn. So price point at sub $1,000 a square foot is another reason why we should really consider this. This is a picture that I personally took from the sales center, okay, last week. This is from the window in the sales center located right next to the construction site. This is the construction site. So you have no worries about, is this being built? It is guns blazing, full throttle. They are starting to shore, okay? And here are some beautiful units. So what I did is I kept back 4 units. So we have a studio here, okay, which is the traditional, when you think of a studio, for those of us that don't know, studios do not have a designated bedroom. What they usually have pull-out couches or Murphy beds, and think of it as a hotel room with a kitchen, okay? Now, why is it great? Why are studios great options near universities? Well, one, price point. The price of this is under $440,000, and the rent for these things is substantial. Being next to a university, these are ideally located and should be an option for everybody to think of who doesn't have the budget to get a bigger unit. Remember, the best time to get into the market was yesterday, and since we don't have time machines, get in today and get in with something that you can afford, keeps your finances comfortable, but still gets you in, as opposed to missing the boat. Next unit. Here we have a beautiful 1-bedroom. It's a 1B-2, 520 square feet. So a little bit larger than what we're used to seeing in Toronto, making it a little more livable, a little bit more comfortable, okay? We have the washer and dryer in the closet as soon as you come in. The bathroom, not facing the kitchen, but facing the front door, which is a nice feature. We have a nice sized kitchen and living room and a proper sized bedroom with a balcony. Almost everything here also has a balcony, and this is just under $520,000. And again, if we look at the prices, we're just under $1,000 a square foot, but we will be getting rents for this about $2,200 to $2,400. And in Toronto, you get similar rents, but you would be paying, instead of $990 a square foot, you would be paying $1,600 a square foot. So significant saving on price. Here's a 1+ den. We see a nice nook to fit a desk or whatever you want, okay? It can even be used to put a crib. We have a nice sized kitchen again, another balcony, good sized bedroom. So what we see here is we have floor plans that are really functional. This is at 600 square feet, larger than what we're used to Toronto, but substantially lower price than what we're used to in Toronto. And again, we're getting the same rent almost as Toronto. And now finally, we're going to show you a 2-bedroom. I love units like this for investment that have an interior second bedroom. The beauty of this one is that the bathroom is away, but still close to the second bedroom. So you have full living space, two very good sized bedrooms. And this is great for having next to universities as well, because imagine if you could rent this out to two students who each rent a room, then you'll be making serious cash flow positive every month money. And that is the ideal situation. And again, this one is again under $1,000 a square foot.
A question on something like this, Costas. I mean, I see the second bedroom has no windows. So like, do they have a transom window on that, window with that wall facing the living room?
Yes. So what we see is the panel that faces the kitchen. That is either a smoked glass or a regular see-through glass, and you can add some frosting to it.
Got it. Okay.
And I know for people that don't buy condos, I know their initial reaction is that there's no window in the bedroom. But I'm telling you, these are the type of units that I buy for investment, and they're really the best bang for buck, and you still get very, very good rent for them.
Yeah, in the end, it's not a huge deal. I just figure, how do they make the transom window work, and where is it facing? Is it facing a washroom or something like that? Because
it's usually most often it's almost always facing the actual window in the unit. So this one would be facing the balcony.
Got it.
And that would allow for natural light to get in. Right there, exactly.
Yeah.
So here's something else. Pre-pandemic, it used to be 20% down before occupancy, because in Canada, you need to put 20% down to get a mortgage, because you cannot CMHC insure investment properties. But what we saw during the pandemic, developers got together with their financiers and they created a 15% down before occupancy deposit structure, allowing you to keep the final 5% in your pockets or in other investments longer. And what we have here is we have a very, very spread out 15% down until occupancy. It's only $5,000 at signing, the balance of 5% in 30 days. And then we have a series of 2.5% payments at 180, 240, 540, and 720 days. So they're really spread out over 2 full years.
I think that's a major benefit here. Like basically you think 15% down, and the last 5% you're not doing it till basically closing anyway. And the 15% is spread over 2 years, or 7.5% a year. Like, it's to me, that's extremely generous. And that's why I think this structure is attractive.
And what we need to remember is, if you buy a property and it's an investment, you got to put 20% down. So if you're buying a resale, you're putting 20% down off the hop, right? And when you run the numbers, you also have to be taking into account that you're going to have to service the mortgage, pay the insurance, pay the property tax, be in charge of any maintenance on these properties as well. And that's when you make your money, whatever is left over. But in pre-construction, you're actually leveraging your purchase price. You're only putting 7.5% down a year, as Paul had said, but you're getting the benefit of the increase of value on the total purchase price. So it's leveraging at its truest sense, and that's what I like about this. Now, one of the reasons why I say pre-construction is a way to insulate us from what's happening currently in the economy and the real estate market is because we're buying something that's not ready yet. We don't need a mortgage right now. A pre-approval right now doesn't cost you any money, and you're not going to be exposed to these record high interest rates. Now, Paul and I, in the past, we've both spoken on that and together jointly once, in that interest rate hikes in Canada by the Bank of Canada the past 5 times have been cyclical. And every time they raised them, they over-raised them, they crashed the economy, and they had to drop them again like a hot potato. Now, if the past 5 times were any indicator, this is going to happen again. And by the time you will need a mortgage for the property, they are going to be low once again, and you will not have to pay 6% interest rates.
I mean, to put that into perspective, we're talking a closing of 4 years from now. Like, so yes. I'll think about what's changed in the last 6 months. So 4 years from now, we'll be talking about different problems. Probably about how expensive pre-construction units have become in Hamilton.
I guarantee you that we're going to be talking about how expensive real estate has become in Hamilton. And Hamilton is really it's now you're going to start seeing a tale of two cities in Hamilton with it gentrifying at the pace that it is. Once these new condos are built, Hamilton's going to be a tale of two cities where you have really nice new properties and then old ones being destroyed, renovated, gutted, etc., and rebuilt. And it's really what we've seen in the city of Toronto is starting to happen in Hamilton. And what better time than to get in on the forefront of this? And once everybody is moving there and Hamilton's getting known for this, you already have a brand new condo that you're ready to rent out. Now we're going to go to the next slide and we're going to see basically an overview of prices in the building. So studios and junior beds, one beds start from 430 and go up to 516,000. One bedrooms are from low fives to mid fives. One plus dens and one plus media are mid fives to low sixes. Junior twos and twos are from low sixes to high sevens. That's the greatest variation is in the two beds because of sizing. And two beds plus den and three beds are high eights to just over $1 million. Okay. Now, these prices are basically lower than what they should be. And that is the direct result of the inflation and the rise in interest rates causing uncertainty. So what I tell my clients is the best time for you to accumulate wealth and improve your financial situation is in times of uncertainty. Throughout history, the greatest fortunes have been made during times of war, during times of depression, etc. And this is one such time. And Warren Buffett said, when everybody is greedy, it's the time to be cautious. And when everybody is cautious, it's the time to be greedy. And my advice to everybody is, I'll listen to a man like Warren Buffett, and now is definitely the time to be greedy.
I'm looking for the deposit slip right now, and I can't find it. But like, you got to watch your talk. I just bought a property today, so off market. It just happened to be on the same street where I own another property, so I went to see it. Total piece of crap. But I'll be able to demolish the property and carve it up into 3 lots. That's one of the things I do to kind of build my portfolio there. But I was able to get it for a song just because of, the condition of the property, and people weren't going to be able to qualify for a mortgage. It would never have appraised. No mortgage would touch it. So I was able to walk in there with cash and get a fantastic deal. We're talking like 2018 kind of pricing. So I couldn't say no. So these type of deals come, and this is where it's at.
Yeah, and I bought a condo in the middle of the summer, and the reason I bought this pre-construction condo is because the price was too good to be true. And it was a very small building, not usually what I buy, but I know that if it had launched at any other time, say 6 months earlier, it would have been over $150 a square foot more. And it was just an opportunity I couldn't pass up. And that's what I try to tell our followers and our viewers and our clients and our friends. If you're going to buy in something and you want to insulate your risk, hedge your bets, buy something that's a need, not a want. And condos in areas which are expanding and their populations are growing, they're the need in the market, not the houses, okay? And especially in downtown cores. Now, condos are starting to come to Hamilton, and they're coming in a good way, and that's because the population requires it. The growth in population requires it. The growth in infrastructure will bring population, etc. So if you're going to buy in something like this. You have no worry about maintenance, no worry about carrying costs. You have a deferred, delayed deposit structure, which is much easier to accommodate given the economy in general. And this is a great way to get into the market. And that's what we've been helping people for years to do. That's what we've been helping Paul's clients and my own. And this is definitely a project that I want everybody to think about. Like I said, it has started selling. It started selling earlier this week. Okay. So we still have a lot of units. There's over 600 in the building. This is opening day prices, opening day deals. We have cap development charges, free assignment, right to lease during interim occupancy, all the stuff that we get at First Access Condos for our clients. Okay. And we want to offer that to you.
Are we taking questions yet, Costas?
Of course.
Could you Ashley, can you go back to that quickly, the map of Hamilton there, that little small map a few slides back? I just wanted to mention one thing. Yeah, that one. So if you just think, map wise in your head, if you're thinking about Southern Ontario, you have Toronto obviously has a million condos. We all know there's lots of condos there. Coming west, Mississauga's full of condos, but they're only growing in certain urban growth centers now. Their downtown, which is around Square One, is full, and it's not like you can build a ton of condos, on the lakeshore. They have one project there by Erin Mills, but that's about it. Oakville, where I live, is like to condos. You're getting them at here, Ontario, and Dundas, and north toward the 407, but anything south is forget it. Burlington, 5 of the 6 councillors are anti-development. Okay, so development's going to slow. There's not going to be a ton of new units coming out in Burlington, not a ton in Oakville, not a ton in Mississauga. And Hamilton is sitting there with their arms wide open, being like, hey, come on in, guys.
Wide open. In comparison, I'm going to jump in with something that you said, Paul, and interject. We've been waiting on a project in Burlington, any project, to come out. For the past 2 years, there's been one launch in Burlington.
Yeah.
And every other project gets killed at council.
Yeah. The council doesn't want it, and it's not going to happen for a long, long time. We can talk about politics another day, but that's just what it is. So think, if you're buying, this is the way my brain thinks. Like if I'm, whether I think this project at 1,000 a square foot is expensive or not is beside the point. But let's say I get in at $1,000 a square foot. As if Hamilton is sitting there arms wide open, accepting new projects like crazy, wanting to build up their core, are new projects next year going to start selling for less than 1,000 a square foot or for more? Right? We all know what happens as new projects are released over a period of time. As these new projects are released and the price goes up per square foot, they're basically building in your profit because you got in early. That's kind of the way I see it, because you're in this kind of big rush over the next 3, 4, 5 years and over the next decade in Hamilton. So just think about that, and where all the developments coming west from the GTA. I just wanted to throw that in there. And if anyone has any questions, now's your time. I see some come through the chat here. Oz, the deposit structure is 15% in the first 2 years. So think 7.5% in the first year broken up, another 7.5% in the second year broken up, and the last 5% is only on occupancy before closing. Is that right, Costas?
It is. So we have the 5,000, which is a draft at signing. That's held at the sales center for 10 days. Okay. And our lawyer reviews it for you and everything. And this is the lawyer that Paul and I use for our own pre-construction purchases. Okay. And then you have the balance to 5% for your first post-dated check at the 30-day mark. Then you have 4 checks of 2.5%, bringing you to 15. Okay, the last one's on 720 days. Those are spread out during the first 2 years. And then once you get your keys at occupancy, which will be in 2026, that's when you give the final 5, bringing you to 20. So for the first 4 years, you're only in 15%.
I hope that answers your question, Oz. Jeff, how does this project?
I can answer this one too. So Jeff, nice to hear from you again, Jeff. Hope you're well. How does it match up with current and upcoming projects in Hamilton? Well, its only real competitor of what's launched recently would be Design District. And Design District is a 3-tower mega project, and it's fantastic, being built by a fantastic developer. But Design District is really, the only way to say it is it's fancy. It has Bertie Philick, a world-renowned designer, doing the interiors. It has furniture by Louis Vuitton, and all that stuff increases your purchase price. And that, although it has some discounts, that is still about $100 a square foot more expensive than James. So I'm not going to say I don't like it. I actually love it. But if you are getting in and it's your first investment, okay, and you don't have that much money and you really want to be fiscally conscious, then why not get in at a quality project at the best price point? And hands down, this is the best price point of the top tier projects currently in Hamilton or coming up in the next little while in Hamilton. So this is the best way to say this is bang for your buck. Now, not knocking the other one, we've done deals there as well, still doing deals there, but that is a little bit higher price point, and it's going for a different clientele.
Thank you.
Costas, I got a question. I looked through all the units already, and we'll send out a package with the floor plans and pricing to everyone here for sure. But if you were getting a unit for yourself here, what kind of unit would you target? A 1+10 or a 2-bedroom? What are your thoughts?
Well, listen, I tell people you get what you're comfortable getting. Put enough skin in the game that you can still sleep at night and you don't have to worry about your bills. But if you can afford a cross section of units here, personally, my bread and butter are small 2-bedroom, 2-bath units near universities. And the reason I do that is because you can, more often than not, rent out each bedroom to a university student and their parents pay you for the year up front. And then you're actually making really good money, cash flow positive. If 2 bedrooms are renting out for $3,000 and 1 bedrooms are renting out for $2,200, you can easily get $1,800 each room, and now you're making $3,600 a month instead of $3,000, and that's $7,200 extra a year.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, so we'll send this out to everybody who's on the call for sure with the recording, and for those of you listening to the recording, there's a few of you. You'll have this in your email. Is there any other questions from people on the chat or on the call? Feel free to unmute yourself. Don't be shy. So if there's no other questions, I just want to comment and say thanks to Costas for coming on and doing this. If you do have questions afterward, you can email them to me, but I'll connect you with Costas if you have any super detailed questions. If you want to do a worksheet, I'll connect you with Costas's team, and they'll take care of that also. So I want to thank you guys for coming on, and any closing words?
Thank you for having us. It's always a pleasure, and we look forward to assisting everybody. Have a great evening.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you, Monica. Bye-bye.